Everything you think you know is severely limited by your perception. Let me explain. Imagine you're just a little bacteria living in the gut. You're just going about your day doing as a bacteria does. Food comes in, you do your thing. But here's the thing. Outside of that ecosystem that you know that is the gut, there are incredibly important factors that dictate your existence as a bacteria, like the sun and the energy it gives, farmers tending to the crops, the weather. There's a vast stock market that impacts the complexity of the world, dictates resources, where they go. There's factors like what's accessible to you within your market, what can the person eat, none of which the bacteria knows or even has the comprehensional capacity to understand. It exists in a very complex environment that is the human body, but it is completely unaware of even more complex environments that exist outside of it, the world, the universe. So this is an example that was highlighted in this book, My Big Toe, written by Thomas Campbell. And it's a must read for anyone who wants to explore consciousness, and she is thick. But Campbell explains that us as human beings, we're no different than that bacteria in the gut microbiome. Our ability to understand or even comprehend things is severely limited by our perception. Immanuel Kant explains that our ability to understand things is limited by our senses, our cognitive frameworks. There are things that exist outside of our frameworks that we cannot understand, but it doesn't mean they don't exist. Scottish philosopher David Hume explains the limits of human reasoning and rationalization, our ability to understand. And this is because, as he noted, our beliefs about the world are actually just based on habit and conditioning, not rational evidence. Physicist Karen Barad talks about how our perceptions shape reality. There are many layers of existence that we just can't perceive. Einstein is quoted as saying the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of true art and science, he says. There are deeper mysteries that we cannot explain, nor can we perceive, but they exist. But my favorite quote comes from the Swedish artist Hilma af Klint. And she says, quite simply, the visible is only a small part of the totality of life. There really is so much more beyond what we can see, what we can perceive, beyond our five senses. And that's my goal with this series. It is to expand your perception, because the thing is, to the limits that we can, the more you expand what you can perceive, the more things start making sense. So approach this series with an open mind, because there's some pretty cool things in it. And as